All right, so finally it's happening. Shamans are getting an update, a much needed one. It's not like a complete rework, but they are getting a nice update that people have been begging for quite a while. I'm gonna read through this. I'm not really gonna read it word for word just because there's a lot. Like for instance, greeting shamans. I don't really care about the beginning part. All right, I get it. The philosophy and goals for these changes. We'll start by addressing the new shaman raid buff. Yes, that's right. Shamans as a whole is getting a raid buff. They're removing Wind Fury Totem and replacing it shaman wide with Sky Fury Totem. Sky Fury incorporates the previous effect Wind Fury Totem had of activating additional auto attack swings with a small mastery buff. Players may also note that this is lifting the party-wide restriction. That means you don't need this shaman to be in the group with all the melee anymore, because it's going to be a guaranteed raid-wide effect now. Right here. Guaranteed raid-wide effect. That's insane. That means Ellie shamans, resto shamans, enhanced shamans, all of them bring Sky Fury to the raid. Huge, because now we actually have a reason to where, hey, we can bring in an Ellie shaman. Sick. What that means for having more than one shaman in a raid, I don't know. It's gonna basically make it to where one shaman can cover the two that most groups brought if they brought two enhanced shamans for the previous races and stuff like that. But it just basically guarantees a shaman spot in raids, right? Class trees. This is something that I was kind of very happy about. They're removing a lot of the 2-point talents and they moved around a lot of the utility. So like Gust of Wind's easier to get. Survivability. There's going to be some new toys to help with that, like the group utility. They moved it all around. They made it easier to get stuff. They made it less points to get through stuff. And they added in more stuff to help with the issue of survivability in like keys and raids and all that. For the Shaman class tree, reduce the node count of defense and throughput nodes. So instead of having to put 2 points in to get like 5% DR, for example, it's just 1 point and you get the entire thing. And pathing has been improved in a variety of ways, and the previously potentially restrictive locations of Gust of Wind, Spirit Walk, and Earth Shield has been changed to be easier. So it's basically going to be a guaranteed you can path this way and be fine, and you're not wasting points, which is great. Great to hear. Elemental. Oh, please let me play my main. That's all I'm asking. Elemental's updates focused on scaling their proc rates to be more consistent between AoE and single target situations. This is what I have been begging for. Even on beta right now with the hero talent trees, one spec is good at single, one spec is good at AoE. There's just a super lack of being able to do both. Allowing for things such as Lava Burst to have more of an impact on their rotation and improving their talent tree layout to allow for more diverse builds and variety. So they're basically trying to even out, letting you do, if you want to do a Lightning Rod build, if you want to do a Lava Burst build, like you want to do any build, basically. They want you to be able to do it and be able to actually do damage in both single target and AoE. Not like at an extremely high level, but they want you to be able to. They even say that we want to empower elemental shamans to be able to specialize as lightning focused, lava focused, or weaving between all the elements and have distinct builds within each of those options. Sounds great. I'm going to be on beta testing the hell out of it. All right, for you resto shamans out there. All right, there may be hope for you. Our Restoration Shaman updates condense the availability of damage-focused nodes in the specialization tree to free up more points. So I'm assuming that sounds just like what they did for at the top, where they condensed the points. So instead of being 2 points to get the full, it's just 1. Moving core nodes such as Ascendance and Tidebringer into more available locations. We want Restoration Shamans to feel they have multiple compelling options to reach the heavily desirable nodes on their tree. Also focused on increasing the effectiveness of a few core Restoration Shaman spells we feel have fallen behind. The two most notable spells are Healing Surge and Spirit Link Totem. Yeah, Healing Surge's case, players will notice more bonuses to the spell to allow players who are looking to utilize the spell more effectively, and for Spirit Link. We are returning the Spouting Spirits Azurite trait. Ooh. With a twist of splash healing to make it as strong in any group content. Healing Rain is also seeing new bonuses focused on increasing its effectiveness. It sounds like they're just really trying to bring Restoration Shaman back into like more of a, hey, we can bring this to high keys. There are Resto Shamans out there who are doing high keys, but it is just very hard for them to find them. That's just a key example. In terms of raid, there's just better options, is what they're saying. And they're trying to balance that out by bringing an old trait back, improving it, and then improving a lot of the main spells that you use to where you're not really changing what you're doing. You're just doing it more, and it's more effective. For enhancement, we've generally been pleased with the state and talent diversity of their specializations, so we're approaching it with a lighter touch. We're focused on baselining a few of their core spells and utility within their specialization tree to allow for optionality in both the core and spec trees. I mean, yeah, I agree. The one thing I don't agree with is their rotation. I think it was like 17 buttons just for an opener or something, and it was like a lot of different buttons. So I'm hoping they kind of like minimize that, like kind of like the reason why what people are complaining about for like survivability or marksman. The reason why they got rid of Bandolier. I feel like enhanced, because I've talked to a few people and they said this is kind of similar, where it's becoming too many buttons. So I'm hoping that was where that lighter touch came from, is making it a little bit more simplistic, but keeping the damage profile. So let's look at the patch notes. Clash tree. Many talents have moved locations or have had their pathing updated in all trees. Yep. New ability, Sky Fury, Harness the Fury of the Windlord. This is basically Totem. So you get 2% mastery and empower their auto attacks to have a 20% chance to instantly strike again for 1 hour. Wait. Oh, it's not a totem. It's a straight up buff. Okay, wait. Right? Is that what I'm reading here? It lasts for an hour. If the target is in your party or raid, all effect. Yeah, no, this is a straight up buff. It's not a totem. It's a buff. Like, okay. Even better. That's kind of sick. You know, it would be kind of fucked up if some raids were like, you know what, let's just put a 21st person as a shaman, and then they'll have them zone. We'll zone everyone out, get buffed, go back in, kill the boss. That'd be so messed up. But okay, new talent, elemental resistance. Healing from Healing Stream Totem reduces fire, frost, and nature damage received by 6% for 3 seconds. Healing from Cloudburst Totem reduces. This is actually pretty strong, in my opinion. I like this change. It means that for certain things going on, like let's say M+, because M+ is a very big talking point, because in raid, you know, it's not very critical. You won't get one shot from a lot of things unless you're just majorly messing up and getting hit by something you shouldn't be. This active mitigation is just going to help so much in like a Mythic Plus level. I want to see like exactly how well it performs, but 6% fire, frost, and nature, depending on the dungeon, could be pretty big. New talent, Refreshing Waters. Your healing surge is 25% more effective on yourself. Okay. A little bit more self-healing. Traveling Storms. Thunderstorm can be... Wait, what? Traveling Storms. Thunderstorm can now be cast on allies within 40 yards. Reduces and knocks enemies... Wait, so I can target someone and hit them with the... So you're telling me I can play Ellie and have a macro set for my tank right now? So I don't have to run in and Thunderstorm. I can just have my tank do it. Okay. I mean, yeah, I could see that being good. I like it. That sounds fun. I don't know if taking this will make it to where we can't knock them straight up or anything like that, but I'm definitely going to mess with this. That sounds like a lot of fun, and making it a little bit easier to play and just being able to focus up and do damage. Do talent Seasoned Winds. Interrupting a spell with wind shear decreases your damage taken from that spell school by 15% for 18 seconds, stacks up to 2 times. That's sick. That's going to be actually a lot. That's huge. Fuck yeah. Who wouldn't take this? Stacks up to 2 times, 30% active mitigation from that spell if you get 2 interrupts off on a pull. somebody messes up, I mean, you're taking 15% less damage, 30%. That's pretty nice. I don't think it's really gonna do much though, but it might help with like pugging keys where people do mess up casts a lot. Encasing cold, frost shock snares its target by an additional 10% and its duration increased by 2 seconds. Okay. I'm not sure what that would do in terms of like a comp, maybe. Like maybe you can run like Frost Mage, Shaman if you have to kite a lot. I guess it's a good talent. Yeah. I mean it seems interesting. It sounds more like PvP though. But like I said, I'd love to test it out and see exactly what I can do with it. New talent, Arctic Snowstorm. Enemies within 10 yards of your frost shocks are snared by 30%. I think snare means slowed, right? Usually rooted is locked in place. New talent, Ascending Air. The cooldown of Wind Rush Totem is reduced by 30 seconds and its movement speed effect lasts an additional 2 seconds. Okay, nice. New talent, Enhance Imbues. The effects of your weapon imbues are increased by 20%. The effect of your weapon... Wait, isn't that pretty big? This feels pretty big, especially for like a Lava Burst build and Enhanced Shamans just overall. This feels like a really good talent. Definitely gonna go and test that later. Stone Bulwark Totem summons an Earth Totem at the feet of the caster for 30 seconds, granting the caster a shield absorbing damage. I believe this is what they're replacing the Stone Skin Totem with, right? Weren't they removing the Stone Skin Totem, the one that does like physical damage down, and making it a shield totem instead? I'll have to go and see. I'll have to go and actually see what the talent looks like. I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds pretty similar to it. And then new talent, Jetstream. Wind Rush Totem's movement speed bonus is increased by 10% and now removes snares. Oh, removing snares is pretty big. Okay. Primordial Bond. While you have an elemental active, your damage taken is reduced by 5%. I don't think this is new. Wasn't this already in? I feel like this is already in. I feel like it was. I definitely... maybe they removed it and put it back in. I'm not sure. Voodoo Mastery has been redesigned. Your Hex target is slowed by 70% during Hex and for 6 seconds after it ends. Reduces the cooldown of Hex by 15 seconds. Okay. Flurry was moved from class tree to the enhancement tree. Okay. So they're removing... I think this is an attack speed bonus, right? That's what Flurry was? I don't remember. I don't play Enhance much, so I probably never looked at this talent. The cooldown of Gust of Wind has been reduced to 20 seconds. It was 30. Yes, I get to spam it more. This is actually one of my favorite talents to run. Earth Grab Totem and Wind Rush Totem no longer share a choice node. Let's go. That's actually huge. Lightning Lasso and Thundershock no longer share a choice node. Wait, really? Hold on. Does that mean we're actually going to run Lightning Lasso in our rotation again? I guess we'll see. I remember there was a time where Lightning Lasso did a lot of damage. The following talent points are now 1. Totemic Focus, Elemental Warding, Nature's Guardian, Winds of Alakir, Nature's Fury, and Totemic Surge. Those are all pretty good talents, too. Following talents have been removed. Go with the flow, Flurry, Maelstrom Weapon. Good, yeah. Wait. So if they're removing Maelstrom Weapon, I guess we just don't have the buff, is what it is? I think that was something you'd run for enhancement, right? Yeah. Stone Skin Totem. Yeah, so see, they got rid of Stone Skin Totem and they're putting in the Barrier Totem thingy, you know. Surging Shields, yeah. Ancestral Defense. Okay. Oh no. There's more. This is the hero talent stuff. Holy cow. Okay. Try to get this as soon as we can, so this video isn't like an hour long. So, hero talents, Farseer. Restoration, Undulation can now trigger Call of the Ancestors. Okay. They didn't really change anything hero talent-wise for Elemental. It was just Resto, it looks like. Healing from Chain Heal from Totemic Rebound increased by 400%. All right. I believe this is a talent tree rework for the hero trees. So, Fusion of Elements. After casting Ice Fury, the next time you cast a Nature and a Fire spell, you additionally cast an Ellie Blast at your... Oh my god, that's kind of gross. It's 60% effectiveness, but like just the buffs alone, that's kind of gross. Storm Frenzy. Your next Chain Lightning or Lightning Bolt has a 40% reduced cast time after casting. Earth Shock, LA Blast, or Earthquake can accumulate up to 2 charges. Huh. Okay. Not bad. And these are all guaranteed talents, things that you're going to have, because the hero trees are just always full. While Storm Elemental is active, your nature damage dealt is increased by 10%. While Fire Elemental is active, your fire damage is increased by 10%. Okay. Very nice. I like that. It actually, okay, this right here is what I've been begging for, is the fact that our elementals don't give us enough buffs. Like, our Fire Ellie, it just increases your flame shock tick damage or tick speed and lasts longer. I'm like, okay, cool. Now it's just straight up like, while it's active, you do 10% more fire damage. Thank you. That's what we've been needing. Lightning Conduit. Lightning Shield is active. Your nature damage is increased by 8%. What? That's sick. We're just straight up getting buffs all around. As long as you keep your shield up, you get more damage. Increases the duration of your elementals by 20%. Makes your cooldowns last longer. Thunderstrike Ward. Imbue your shield with the element of lightning for 1 hour, giving Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning a chance to call down 2 Thunderstrikes on your target for nature damage. Okay. Okay. Give it. Yeah. That's going to be interesting. I want to see how much damage this will do. I'm hoping it's not going to be one of those random things where it just does a metric ton. I just hope that it's balanced correctly and not doing too much damage, but it sounds pretty nice. Earth and Rage, your damage spells incite the earth around you to come to your aid for 6 seconds, repeatedly dealing nature damage to your most recently attacked target. Isn't this, this is our old mastery from Mists of Pandaria. When Mists of Pandaria was ending, this thing was bugged to hell and did so much damage, and then the new expansion came out. It wasn't bugged. It was just the scaling of mastery was super high. And then the next expansion came out and it balanced out. But I do remember this, and I actually really like this talent. Echo of the Elements. When your Storm Elemental or Fire Elemental expires, it leaves behind a lesser elemental to continue. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I think we had this for a little bit. There's something similar to this, at least. But I like this talent. That's fun. This sounds fun. Talent. First Ascendant. The cooldown of Ascendance is reduced by 60 seconds. Wait, are we going to actually be able to run Ascendant? Hold on. We might actually be running Ascendant. Okay, we're going to have to test that. I'm going to see this. Preeminence. Your haste is increased by 25% while Ascendance is active, and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. I think that we might actually have a way to run Ascendance now, because I know we've been avoiding it pretty heavily for the last few tiers. Especially in keys. It's just, you proc, you win. If not, you don't. And that was one of my biggest arguments, is I wish I could just run Ascendance baseline. Fury of the Storms. Activating Stormkeeper summons a powerful lightning elemental fight by... Okay, that's sick. Yes. Making Stormkeeper less useless. Thank you. The only time it was ever worth it for me is so I could get more Earthquakes down. That is it. Primordial Fury has been redesigned. Now increases the critical damage bonus of Elemental Fury by 25%. Okay. Ice Fury has been redesigned. Casting Lava Burst has a chance to replace your next Frost Shock with Ice Fury. Yes! Thank you! Ice Fury is no longer a cast? Thank you. This is my biggest thing I've been complaining about, is I have to cast Ice Fury to empower my Frost Shocks. It's just such a long cast that it ruins a lot of, like, especially on heavy movement fights, it can be super awkward to use. This is straight up like, hey, if you use Lava Burst, it has a chance to turn Frost Shock into Ice Fury. So you don't have to use it to empower. And then when you use it, it goes there, and apparently it stacks up 2 times. Ice Fury now empowers the next 2 Frost Shocks. Now, I would like to know if this is still a heavy cast time, because that's kind of our issue with, like, Tempest and Lightning Bolt, is like, why would I want to cast a Tempest when I can cast 2 or 3 Lightning Bolts in the same amount of time, right? I don't want to have a 3-second cast time just so I can use 2 Frost Shocks that are empowered. I don't want to have a 3-second cast time. If I want Ice Fury to be a little bit faster of a cast, or instant. But I know people complain about instant, so just a little bit faster would be nice, especially since it's a proc and it's kind of rewarding us instead of punishing us and making us have to do a long cast. That'd be great. Mastery Elemental Overload has been redesigned. Now increases all physical and elemental damage dealt. The damage of Elemental Overloads is now 25% of normal damage, was 85%. Okay, I mean, that sounds like a good balance. We're getting a lot of buffs up here. Lowering this a little bit sounds like it's just meant to balance it out. Lava Surge is now learned at level 12 and has been removed from the class tree. Yes! They're removing stuff and making it baseline, chat! Holy cow! Inundate is now learned at level 14 and has been removed from the elemental tree. Thank you! Trigger rate of lava surge and searing flames now scaled based on the number of targets Flame Shock is on. In single target, it should trigger slightly more often, and in AoE, it should trigger less often. Okay. So, I don't know how that'll balance out, but it sounds like we're going to get more procs on single target and less procs on AoE. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Flash of Lightning now also increases the critical strike chance of Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning. Cool. Quelling Maelstrom now also increases the damage of Earth Shock, Ellie Blast, and Earthquake by 5%. Master of the Elements now increases the damage of the next spell by 15%. Was 10 or 20. Okay, I mean, that's a good medium. Echo Chamber now increases the damage of Elemental Overloads by 10%. Was 8% or 15%. However, the Maelstrom now causes the next Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning to trigger an additional Elemental Overload. Was 2, can now stack up to 2 times. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Now causes the next. I'll have to mess with that one. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, synergy wise. Like, I need to actually get on beta once this is out and just like fully test it. Magma Chamber now stacks up to 10. Was 20. Okay. Elemental Equilibrium is now a 10% damage bonus. So they're just evening a lot of stuff out, making it mediums instead of extremes. So like this was a 2-point talent, and now it's a 1-point talent. Basically, is what they're doing. So they're going through and like, hey, it's a 1-point talent now. Instead of it being rewarding for putting 2 in, let's make it a middle and make it, instead of 10 and 20, 15. Instead of 8 and 15, 10. I think you could do 11 or 12, but 10 just looks better. It's more visually appealing. Elemental Equilibrium no longer has a tracking debuff. Okay. Eye of the Storm now reduces the Maelstrom cost of Earth Shock and Earthquake by 5 and Elemental Blast by 10. Maelstrom regeneration has been updated for the following abilities: 6 to 8, Lightning Bolt over 2 to 3. So they just basically fixed a lot of Maelstrom scaling. They looks like they lowered it a bit on pretty much everything. Oh, Ice Fury's super low now, so it's not as much as a priority, I'm guessing. So you can choose not to cast it if you get a proc, if other things are going. I guess we'll see. I need to test this a lot. The Ice Fury change is something that I really want to test a lot of. Ice Fury Overload, 4 and 12. Frost Shock's empowered by Ice Fury. But I think they also reduced the cost. I think this is balancing out for the reduced cost because they were pretty much going to run this a lot. I don't know. I want to see. I feel like I'm going to be starved a bit, and this is going to take a little bit more balancing. But Flow of Power no longer increases Maelstrom generation from overloads. Stormkeeper has been removed from its choice node with Lightning Rod. Oh, so we can run both? Wait. Interesting. I need to see this. I need to see the talent tree so I can understand this, but it just sounds like we're pretty much always going to be able to run Lightning Rod now. Earth Shock is now a choice against Elemental Blast. Is now a choice. Earth Shock is now a choice against Ellie Blast. Oh, okay, so they removed it as its own talent and made it to where it's 2 talents are put on the same node. So you just choose, do you want Earth Shock or Ellie Blast? Instead of having Earth Shock, and then, by the way, if you want Ellie Blast, it's going to replace Earth Shock. So now they're just on the same node to free up a point. Okay. Earthquake is now a choice node with an option to have it be cast on your target. Huh. I actually was asking for this once. We'll see how that is. All nodes are now 1 point. The following talents have been removed: Tumultuous Fissures, Focused Insight, Refreshing Waters, Primordial Bonds. I thought we read something about this earlier. And that it is actually... Oh, wait, is it... I guess we'll see. I'll look at it more later. Call of Thunder, Call of Fire, Electrified Shocks, Wind Speakers, Lava, Resurgence. Wait, this is the proc. So yeah, we're not going to have the proc Ascendance anymore. We're just going to have straight up Ascendance, is what it looks like. So we'll see. Oath of the Farseer, Further Beyond, Rolling Magma, Pride of Murder Surge, and Maelstrom. Yeah, this is all on the Ellie side. This isn't Heroes Hounds. This is I'm assuming this is just all Elemental Tree. Okay. Enhancement, there really wasn't much change. Maelstrom Weapon is now learned at level 10, has been removed, so it's baseline now. Maelstrom Weapon is baseline. Barrel Lunge is baseline. Flurry is on the enhanced tree. Ellie Blast damage reduced by 25%, and the following talents have been removed. Wind Fury, because they're putting Sky Fury, the buff in. Focus Insight and Refreshing Waters. New talent, Tidewaters. There's a lot of resto stuff. I don't know a lot about resto stuff. So like I could read this to you all, but I don't play resto as often. So what I'm going to do is put a link down below and it'll have all this there for you. But like, you know, Tidewaters, when you cast Healing Rain, each ally with Riptide on them is healed. Oh, that's interesting. So it's basically you want to Riptide as much as you can, so that way when you Healing Rain, it heals more people. Is what it sounds like, but I don't play Resto Shaman enough, so I might be telling you to yourself. I don't know. Ascendance cooldowns being reduced. This just sounds like we're going to be running Ascendance a lot. Like it's going to be being popped a lot. Preeminence, your haste is increased by 20% while Ascendance is active. Just buffs towards Ascendance. When refreshing Earth Shield, your target is healed for each stack of Earth Shield they are missing. Oh, so you let the Earth Shield get low, and then you heal again. So you don't want to let it fall off completely, but you want to refresh it when it's low. Whitewater, your critical heals have 215% effectiveness instead of the usual 200%. Okay. Spirit Link reduces damage taken by additional 5. Oh, so they buffed it more. Nice. And it restores health to all nearby allies 1 second after it is dropped. Huh. Interesting. Tidal Totem has been redesigned. After using Minotide Totem, the cast of your next 3 healing surges is reduced by 100%, and the mana cost. Nice. So you want to drop the totem and then use 3 healing surges. Cool. Casting Lava Burst increases the healing of your next healing surge by 30%, stack up to 2 times, so doing some damage to the boss is actually a good thing. You heal harder. Healing Surge applies Flame Shock to a nearby enemy when empowered by Master of Elements. That's kind of cool. You just get a free Flame Shock off just by healing, so you don't have to worry about constantly reapplying it too much. Earth Living Weapon has been redesigned. Earth Living receives 150% additional benefit from Mastery. Deep Healing. Healing Surge always triggers Earth Living on the target. Huh. I don't know what that does, but sounds pretty good. I believe it just means you heal more, right? The Mastery. Earth Shield reduces damage taken by 50%, and its healing is increased by up to 150% as its target's health decreases. I just like that it's active DR. That's pretty cool. That's going to be another reason to bring him in. Casting Healing Rain activates Downpour, allowing you to cast Downpour within 6 seconds. A burst of water at the target location heals it. Oh, nice. So it's a little like burst healing and increases their max. So it's like a mini CD for them too. That's another reason to bring them in. They just always have like a miniature CD for the entire group. Is twice as effective for totemic restoration shamans. Oh, so if you run the totemic spec, Downpour is pretty damn good. Living Stream has been redesigned. Now increases healing stream totem by 100%, decaying over restoration. Okay. Lava Surge is now learned. Removed in the tree. Current control now reduces the cooling down of healing totem by 45 seconds. It was 30. That's pretty big. Manatide Totem's radius is now 40 yards. Nice. Ancestral Awakening now triggers at a 20% base chance and increases to a 40% when active at a critical strike. Right now additionally increases the chance for Riptide's initial heal. Water Totem Mastery now activates on a chance, but its effect has been increased to 3 seconds of reduction. Water Shield now has 9 charges. Primordial Waves cooldown has been reduced to 30 seconds. And Healing Raid now heals 5 targets, and healing increased by 17%. Acid Raid now damages 5 enemies. Was 6. So they're just doing a little bit of balance damage, it looks like. Just reducing targets a little bit. Wave Speaker's Blessing is now a 2-point talent. So not all 2 points are gone. It looks like there is one right here. Following talents are now 1, and then the following talents have been removed. So pretty interesting. That's literally all there is left. Enhance didn't see too much, but I think Enhance is also in a good spot, and it seems like they can also put more into their tree now since there's some stuff that is baseline. But I'm really looking forward to this elemental changes. We've been waiting for something for so long. I'm gonna like the moment I'm able to, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna be testing this and just having fun playing my main again. I have been so hopeful for something like this for a while. Just the fact that I can get invited to a key and have a raid buff I can put on them is pretty nice. And it sounds like I straight up could be running a melee comp as an LA Shaman now too. Because like, you know, I put up Sky Fury. I buff the rogue. We can have like a demon hunter in there too, you know, run havoc rogue with a monk tank or a mistweaver. Like there's a lot of possibilities now. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. So Sky Fury into rogue. Windwalker, Havoc Tank, and a Resto Druid too. Like there's just so many possibilities now because you're just buffing multiple things. I don't see caster comps caring too much. As far as I understand, the Sky Fury doesn't really help. Sky Fury incorporates the previous effect when Fury Totem had of activating additional with a small mastery buff. So like it still sounds like it's an auto attack thing. But it also says something about a mastery buff. So like you may still be able to use caster comps with this, but I would need to see like what this mastery buff is. Like, are we getting auto attack damage and a mastery buff? Is it getting replaced with the mastery buff? Like, I want to see exactly how it works. So, but yeah, it sounds like the possibilities have opened. We're maybe getting a little bit of love from people now, and yeah, that's it. If you guys liked the video, hit that follow button. I'm always talking about stuff. I am a Shaman main over at twitch.tv/Wiztech, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.